Claire helped her choose a very beautiful tube-top wedding dress, and said, "I think this one is very suitable for you. It is dignified and elegant, and it also shows the collarbone, which is very temperamental." Isabella hesitated for a moment, and said, "Then let you, I really don't know how to choose." Warnia smiled and said, "Mrs. Wade has a very good vision. This wedding dress has the highest appearance rate here, and I think this one is also very suitable for Isabella's figure and temperament." Immediately afterwards, Warnia greeted two very professional wedding assistants. The two immediately took off the wedding dresses and respectfully took Isabella to the fitting room. After a few minutes, Isabella wore a white and elegant tube-top wedding dress, somewhat unnatural, walked out of the fitting room. Claire's eyes suddenly lit up and exclaimed, "Isabella, you are really beautiful in this wedding dress." Isabella said shyly, "This wedding dress is too delicate and too expensive. I have playing drums in my heart for fear that I might break it." Warnia said with a smile at this time, "Ms. Isabella, you don't need to have such a heavy psychological burden. Since you are Mrs. Wade's friend, you don't have to worry about this wedding dress being worn by you. Let me take any responsibility." Isabella said nervously, "How embarrassing." Warnia smiled and said, "Ms. Isabella, there is nothing to be embarrassed about. The wedding dresses in our shop are fully insured. If there is a problem, we will discuss with the insurance company. You can wear it with confidence." Isabella was relieved when she heard that there was insurance. Seeing that there is not much time left, Charlie said to Claire and Isabella, "Since this wedding dress is suitable, let's just wear it and leave, otherwise it will be too late." Claire nodded and said, "Okay, let's go to Hilton." After that, she looked at Warnia and said with gratitude, "Miss Song, thank you so much for today." Warnia smiled slightly, "Mrs. Wade, you are polite. This is what I should do." When Isabella heard Warnia say her own name, she was stunned, as if struck by lightning. "Warnia? Isn't this the famous Miss Song? My God, the Song family is the largest family in Orus Hill. The Song family's eldest lady is so polite to Claire and her husband? How did my high school classmate suddenly become so powerful?" At this time, Charlie also said, "Miss Song, thanks for your hard work, we will leave first." Warnia's beautiful eyes shone with luster, and said with a smile, "Mr. Wade, why are you so polite?" As she said, she thought of the situation when she kissed Charlie at the time, and her cheeks turned a little blush. When Claire saw this scene, her heart was tense. Why would Warnia be shy of her husband? This kind of shyness is obviously not the state that normal friends should have. At this moment, Claire felt jealous. She speculated that Warnia should have a favorable impression of her husband Charlie. Otherwise, she could not look at her husband with such a look. This made Claire suddenly realize that she and her husband seemed to be far from close enough, and because of this, there is a certain distance between the two. This distance is especially easy for a third party to intervene. If two people's feelings are very close, and their hearts are close to each other, it is naturally impossible to leave any gap for the third party to use. Thinking of this, she suddenly had an unprecedented impulse in her heart. At this moment, Charlie saw that she was still in a daze, and said to her quickly, "My wife, we have to go quickly, or we will be late." Only then did Claire recover, nodded unnaturally, and said hurriedly, "Then let's go quickly." Warnia sent the three people out of the store all the way. Seeing that they all got on the car, she returned to the store reluctantly. Charlie launched the limited edition Bugatti Veyron and drove towards the Hilton Hotel. At this moment in the Hilton Hotel banquet hall, a man dressed in a decent suit with a groom's corsage on his chest was looking anxiously at the time. Next to him stood a woman in her 50s with a cold face. This woman said with an angry face, "Carden, that Isabella is too uncultivated, right? What time is it? She is not yet. Make it clear that she didn't put our family in the eyes." Carden hurriedly explained, "Mom, you don't know that Isabella and her family live in Wu County, which is several tens of kilometers away. I said I would drive to pick her up, you didn't let me go. The phone is confiscated, and Isabella doesn't have a car in her house. Don't know how to get here. Or you can return the phone to me and I will contact her. Contact a bullsh T." Cardan's mother said coldly. As she said, she spurned contemptuously. I told you a long time ago, don't marry a girl from a poor family. You must not listen. If you don't have money, you don't have education. You marry such an uncultivated person and bring her home. Are you trying to piss me off? Cardan's expression was a bit ugly, but he didn't dare to disobey his mother directly. After all, his mother's dominance at home was very powerful, and even his father could not provoke her. At this time, I heard Cardan's mother say again, "Tell you Cardan, today our relatives are all here, everyone is waiting to see the poor wife you find, before 9:30, if this Isabella is not here, then the mother-in-law must be laughed at by all my relatives."